Burna Boy or African Giant, or maybe I should just say Big Seven as he is known in some quarters, is getting the social media space wilding out. His fans are loving him for dropping the new track Ta 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 featuring American artist Travis Scott. Music critics and a few others are reacting to the song, which is a different sound from his usual, and then a good number of neutrals are left confused with a recent post he shared on social media. Let's take a look at the post together. He wrote, and I quote, "The African giant Burna Boy died. His own people killed him. Then Big Seven was born to protect what was left of Burna Boy. Burna Boy and Big Seven fight each other a lot because while Big Seven is only protecting the final and only existing piece of Burna Boy's broken heart, the African giant still haunts Burna Boy." End of quote. Confusing, right? In one hand, you might be wondering, who is Burna Boy in relative to Big Seven and African Giant? Then he wrote his people killed him. How? Burna Boy is like one of the legs of the Afrobeats tripod. A lot of people do love him. So what is he saying with that post? Well, let me bring in someone who might know. Dami Dawson is he's an experienced Nigerian music journalist and current director of content at Pulse Nigeria. Many thanks for joining us, Dami, and it's good to see you again.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, Abidemi. It's good to be here. I trust that you're good.
I'm very well, thanks for asking. Now let's get straight into it. Let me start by asking you if you've listened to the new track Ta 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 featuring Travis Scott and what you do make of it.
Well, what can I say? I mean, largely, I think I appreciate the work Burner does. I think it's good. I think it's good, to be honest. It's not a great song, but I think it's good. That's the most I can say. I try as much as possible not to be critical of certain music works for so many reasons, but I mean, it's Burner Boy, and although there's been some, there's been, okay, so there's been a dwindle, right, in acceptance for the songs that Burner's done in recent times. And I think that would largely affect how people would receive the song, especially at this part of the world in Nigeria and aside from his fans. So for me, it's not a bad song. It's a just their song, if it's okay to say.
I see what you mean. My own first thought is that it's a different track from what we used to know him for. And in situations like that, it might take a while for the song to grow on you. But nevertheless, I still think being fresh and different makes it good. Now then comes that post about Burna Boy dying and his people killing him. Can you make sense of that as well?
Yes, I do, of course. He's typically saying the Burner Boy that you knew from the beginning. The Burner Boy will play the cameo, so for a number of musicians coming up. The Burner Boy who people did not exactly maybe give a chance, lack of a better word. The guy who did checks and balances, the guy who played the cameo in a number of videos for the likes of Cynthia Morgan, David O, the guy who was struggling to get relevance or to get known. The guy who we all knew at the beginning is gone. And I think this comes with the level that he's gotten to at the moment. And I can say this for a number of musicians, not just Burna Boy. I think Burners don't always come out to firmly say that, oh, you know, I'm no longer the Burna Boy you used to know. I'm now, this person, Big Seven, African Giant, or so. Burna is pretty saying that I'm not the guy you used to know. The guy you used to know is gone, is no longer here, and this is a new person. So whatever you feel that, or whatever you think that you knew about me way back, whatever conversations, friendships, collaborations that happened way back when I was Burna Boy, I'm no longer that guy. So I think he's just giving like a disclaimer to a number of people. He knows the people he's talking to. I think he just wanted to bring it out in public so they know that you probably helped me in the past, but yeah, thank you for helping me then. I moved on. This is a new era. So yeah.
Again, I see where you're coming from, but when you see lines like Burna Boy dies and his people killed him, you begin to wonder if he's referring to a general lack of love from the Nigerian music audience. We all know that the industry is polarized in three directions: outsiders, 30 BGs, and the FCs. And the fallout of that is that the fans from different directions will troll the arrowhead of the other direction. So it's natural to see fans of Davido and Whiskey troll Burna Boy. But beyond that, do you think that he has been supported enough by the Nigerian music lovers?
Well, so my response to your first question, your initial question about what I thought about Burna Boy saying he's dead, is just the first half of my answer. You've been able to give me some insight into the second half of the answer, where he said that the audience failed him, the people failed him, and it's not about hate, it's about heartbreak. Um, I think Burna doesn't just understand. So two things. Burna knows what he's talking about. I want to believe that he's not just talking because he's probably in another zone and he's just texting or typing stuff. He has probably experienced some level of neglect or some level of people not paying attention to him at the early stages of his career. It's probably, of course, number of musicians also have also been through that line. That is, to be honest, sort of like part of the process as a musician in Nigeria. And I beg to say in every part of the world where, as you're coming up, a lot of people might not give you the opportunity, they might not give you the listening ears. I think it's just normal. But then the onus is on you to ensure to prove them wrong, to show them that you can actually do stuff. So if he is complaining about how he was treated coming up, maybe not, being listened to, maybe not given a chance to show what he could do, I think it's just being very cheesy because that's normal in this space. Unfortunately, it is what makes the artist stronger. And I guess that's what gave him the boldness, the courage to keep going. And look at where he is today. So it's for me, it is not a big deal. It is a part of the process in this part of the world, and he should have embraced it and see all those no's, all those not supporting him in the past as a drive, to keep moving, to keep doing the work. And look at where he is today. So yeah, there's a bit of that, and it's probably just very pained. I think it's just very pained. He used the word heartbreak. He's very pained because you know, for the most part, might say that he knows what he could have brought or what he can bring or what he has, and he wasn't given the chance. But the audience supported Burna Boy. I mean, if he's gonna come out and say the audience haven't shown support, then that's just him being ignorant. The audience have from the very beginning, to where he is now. The way the audience moves, and I think is one thing we need to understand, particularly in Nigeria, the audience are vibing to the songs that are getting on mainstream. When a particular song gets on mainstream or everybody's talking about the song, it is only normal for the audience to pick up the song organically. Now, if he's saying that, oh, the audience or Nigerian people did not regard him and everything, then that's him thinking too highly of himself, I beg to say. Especially at the time when he was still trying to figure out his steps. And also at the particular era where you had the likes of Wiz and David, and the competition then was even strong. But good thing I think I would say is in the midst of all this, he found a way. He found a time and he found a space that worked for him, and he's been able to use that to his advantage. So honestly, I think that some parts of the cryptic notes make some sense, but some other part, I don't think it was necessary. And again, I'm not exactly surprised. It's Burna Boy. You never know what he could put out on Twitter or social media in general.
Okay, finally, before I let you go, and of course, I can't argue with the way you have put those points. Finally, he has made a clear distinction between Burna Boy, Big Seven, and African Giant, creating separate alter egos. Now we've seen artists like Eminem do that with Slim Shady. Back home, Ikechukwu did something similar with Kills and E. Now, I think my question is, do you understand these entities the way Bonner has now introduced them, and could this be another game changer for him?
Well, for me, I think those alter egos represent certain moments in his life. Certain moments in his career, certain moments in the kind of music you wanted to do or the kind of message you wanted to pass across as a musician. From Burna to African Giant that had a number of songs or basically just preaching about the entirety or the essence of Africa and sort of like a fella in his own era, talking to the wrongs in the society. And we have songs like Monsters We Made, those kind of things are I think it was just for that era. Then you come to Big Seven, so those are different eras in his career as a musician. So wherever he is now, I mean, Bonner can come tomorrow and change it to something else. Like you mentioned, a number of artists in the past have had those moments. So I think as an artist, as a creative, one who is quite very artistic in nature, especially for musicians, you sort of climb certain ladders as you go up in your career. You move from someone like Wizkid from singing what he used to sing at the beginning, Holla at Your Boy, to what he's doing now. Maybe Wiz just did not have certain names at certain levels of his career. I think the only person who's been sort of consistent in his tone or in the line of his music is Davido. At some point, he had a shift when he had the thing with Sonny Music and he released Son of David. It wasn't just working, and David went back to the status quo. He was like, nah, I need to go back to what my people love me for. So certain musicians have had those moments in their career, and this is basically for Burna. So like I said, today is Big Seven. Yesterday was African Giant. Day before yesterday was Burna Boy. We don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. So it could be something else tomorrow. We just have to keep following his process, following his trajectory, and hopefully as the different levels of his career as a musician, with the different alter egos, he's able to give us something different and special that also makes him that musician who has, in my opinion, one of the most expansive sonic palettes in the music industry in Nigeria. I beg to say in Africa.
I must let you go now, Dami. Many thanks for your time and clear perspective on the program today.
Yeah, cheers, bye.
Now let's turn our attention to some other top trending stories, and that includes how Nigerian singer Adekunle Gold reacted to Manchester United losing the Europa Cup final to Tottenham.